Elisa Maza, she struts up to this mirror, and I'm not fucking joking. She starts going, like, I'm not joking. It's what I watched an episode, chat. Gargoyles, episode 18. She's just doing all of this. She's looking at her ass. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Let's get to my scene by scene breakdown to Gargoyles episode 18, The Mirror, chat. Considered to be one of the best episodes of Gargoyles, released by the fan base, chat, for a couple of reasons. And we'll get into those details now, chat. We start at the Museum of Natural History, chat, the Metropolitan Museum of Art and Natural History, where we have two guards talking to each other. Funny enough, one of the guards is voiced by Ed Eisner, who already, yes, notable voice actor. Played Carl in Up. He's been working for, Jesus Christ, what, 50 years, chat? You've seen him. You either seen him or you've heard him. He also voices Hudson in the series, but I was like, why is, oh, he got his voice. He sounds exactly, he's like, when you get Ed Eisner, chat, you're going to get Ed Eisner. He's like, that's what I'm going to give you. But no, even for Hudson, he gives him more of like a Scottish brogue. Gives him a little bit of an accent, which I think is cool. But thank you, No Name, over the 100 biddies. Hope everyone has a great night. Looking forward to 8-bit and extra long Resident Evil stream soon. Yep, this Friday, chat. I'll probably start the stream like at 5:30 on Friday, just because I'm like, I want all the Resident Evil I want inside my tummy, which could be bad, chat, because I could burst out and be like a disgusting hentai baby. We'll see. We'll find out, chat. I want the thick lady vampire to step on me. That will be so hot. Can't wait for it, chat. But we start, chat, at the Museum of Natural History in New York City. And we had Ed Eisner, the security guard, telling a security woman, a fellow security guard, just to make sure that all the artifacts are pristine and also to go check on that new mirror. They've gotten a tip recently that apparently someone's going to try to steal it over the next couple of weeks. And she's like, I'm on it, chat. But you know who this person is, chat? It's Elisa Maza. She's undercover. She's been on stakeout for the last couple of weeks looking after this thing to make sure no one steals this mirror, chat. It's like, well, why is this mirror so important, chat? I don't fucking know. It's apparently it's the mirror of Oberon or whatever the hell it is, chat. Some mystical figure from some fantastical folklore, chat, from the fairy folk as they were called. It was like his or her mirror. And this is great because Elisa's like, I get it. At this point, Greg Weisman and the creators knew that Elisa Maza she's kind of a sex symbol of, like, for cartoon characters, chat. I mean, she's drawn very sexily. She's curvy. She's got a great attitude. She's a wonderful personality, chat. She is one of those, she's like my first crush, for people that were growing up in the 90s, chat, kids in the 90s. I could definitely see people who had a crush on Elisa Maza, like, had other people say. I always hear people like, I had a crush on Kim Possible. I had a, crush on Dana Prince from Just Like, I hear all this all the time. I could see from this episode, especially, Greg Weisman's like, we're going to make these little kids so fucking horny. It's like, and question, like, I feel weird. I feel funny things. Because, chat, Elisa Maza, she struts up to this mirror, and I'm not fucking joking. She starts going, like, I'm not joking. It's what I watched an episode, chat. Gargoyles, episode 18. She's just doing all of this. She's looking at her ass. She's like sticking her boobs out. I'm like, what? When this happens, I was in shock. I mean, yeah, Renee Montoya, Batman. She very much is. Renee Montoya is heavily inspired by, Elisa Maza is very much inspired by Renee Montoya. Except she's more of like a feature main character in this series. But I'm like, when this is happening, can we get Gargoyles fanfic after? I might have to do that. But this inspired so many fanfics. I mean, by this point, you already knew, like, they were hinting at a romance between Elisa Maza and Goliath. It's like they have feelings for each other. They just don't act on it because they're different species, and it's like, how do we even do this? This is the first episode. They're like, oh, they're gonna fuck someday. There's no doubt about it, because she's just posing in this mirror and looking at her ass and her boobs, and I'm like, wow, Greg Wiseman. Elisa Maza, Route 34, right then and there. Yep, right then and there, chat. The year was 1995, and little boys were drawing Elisa Maza art and writing Elisa Maza fanfics where they had sexual relations with her, male or female, chat. You never know. She's a beautiful woman. And so she's posing in front of this goddamn mirror, chat, right? But then, oh no! You know who fucking shows up? Demona. Chad's been a hot minute since we saw Demona. And Demona's like, oh, you, I thought I killed you. A couple episodes back, Chad, she fucking shot Elisa Maza with a poisonous dart, but it hit her bad, Chad, so the poisonous dart didn't kill her. And so she is, because she hates Elisa Maza because she know Goliath has feelings for her. And, you know, Demona used to be the mate of Goliath, Chad. Basically, you know, wife, you know, husband, wife. And she's like, I fucking hate that human more than any other human. And she's like, well, you should practice your aim, Demona, like me. And she's like, you don't fucking stand a chance against me. I'm stronger than you could ever possibly be. And then we hear him, chat. We hear him before we see him. Oh, she does stand a chance. Especially when I'm here and Goliath, he fucking steps out. And, you know, Elisa Maza looks at her, man. She goes, God, I'm gonna fuck that someday. And Demona's like, ooh, I want this mirror. And we're like, we knew you'd want this goddamn mirror, Demona, but you're not gonna get it. And she's like, God, she runs away. She's running away, and they chase her through the museum. And, you know, she's like knocking over shit. And I love it because Goliath and Elisa Maza are like, oh shit, oh shit. Like every time like Demona like pushes something over, they go, ooh, and they grab it. It's like that scene in Rush Hour where you have and it's like the final act in Rush Hour. We're in that like museum place or whatever, where all these thugs are knocking over like pots and stuff, and Jackie Chan's like catching them and putting them back because it's like it's Chinese heritage. She's like, no, don't destroy this. And Goliath and Lisa are like, no. And they're always putting these things back. It's just Demona's like kicking all these things over. But she continues to retreat, chat. Like, it's like interesting. She's just retreating. She's not really attacking right now. She's knocking things over. She like busts open an exhibit, grabs a spear and a shield and like runs out, and they chase her out of the museum, chat. Meanwhile, we cut back to the exhibit with the mirror, chat, this ancient mirror that's like, oh, fucking someone's gonna steal this. And we see these two burglars come down, chat. They're coming from the skylight, and they go all the way down there, and they're like, wow, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. It's like, forget about it. You know, we got a good tip. Let's bring this back to the boss. And they wrap it like around, like a cloth around it, and they waddle out of the museum with the mirror. And then, chat, we cut outside, and Demona, she, like, chucks the spear and goes, rah! And she tries to, you know, impale Elisa Maza, and Goliath grabs her and says, don't hurt my woman. And he throws it away. She goes, Gah! And she flies away. And, you know, Goliath's like, oh, Elisa Maza's like, no, don't bother. It's like, let's just go check on the mirror, okay, just to make absolutely sure. He's like, you're right, let's go. Oh, that's the other thing. The Gargoyles all show up. They all fly down, and it's just like, I can beat you, Goliath. I can beat you, Elisa. He's like, yeah, you think so? You can't stand against the rest of us. And they all fucking show up, and she's like, fuck, and she flies away. And they're like, okay, let's go ahead and check on the mirror. It's, you know, make sure that's safe. And they're like, oh, Jesus, the mirror was stolen. Demona distracted us. Oh shit. We should go ahead and talk at the clock tower, the police precinct clock tower, and they all head back there. Meanwhile, chat, we check in on the two burglars. They put it in a car and they're driving down this road, and they go to this very fancy looking fucking house in the middle of New York, and they're like, are you sure about this, man? He's like, oh yeah, it's no problem. I've already done a couple drops to this broad already. Don't worry, she's good for her money. And they, you know, they press the button, and it's like, hey, we got it. And she's like, all right, come up. And they waddle there. They put the mirror there. And she's like, take your fucking filthy money and get out of here. And they're like, all right, you don't have to tell us twice. And they got the money, Chad, and they leave. And then, Chad, who fucking opens the goddamn front door? Demona. She's working with humans other than Xanatos. David Xanatos, this is interesting. It's like, what's her plan, Chad? What's her plan? And so she brings the mirror into her abode. And it's like, all right, that's kind of weird. And she sets it up, chat, and she puts this chain around it. And she's like, finally, it's here. And I can summon him. Like, summon who? What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? And she starts doing this ancient Celtic cantation, chat. And the mirror starts to glow, and then boom! And what pops out of it, chat? An elf boy, a little elf boy, and he's rhyming and shit. And he's like, "What the fuck? You have me wrapped in chains, you crazy bitch!" And he's like, "You shall serve me now, elf boy." Puck, his name is Puck, chap. And this is it's an interesting piece of dialogue. "I know you serve that other man, but you shall serve me." Who's she referring to, chap? Who does Puck serve? I know. But that's not revealed until many, many episodes into the future, chat. It's like, whoa, it's a big fucking reveal. Brett Spiner! Yeah, it's Brett Spiner. It is true, it's Brett Spiner. Also known as Puck. He does a great job, by the way. Does an excellent job. But we cut back to the Gargoyles, and they're all talking. And, and I love it because Elisa Massa, she's changing back in her old outfit. And all the Gargoyles are like, whatever. They're like paying no mind. And Goliath's just going, he's just so nervous and sweaty. "I'm just sweaty now." Elisa Massa's like, "What's wrong, Goliath?" "You haven't put in my bra, Goliath?" He's like, yeah. All that shit. And she's like, "Well, what's this deal about this mirror?" And Lexington pipes up. He's like, "Oh, the mirror is connected to this mythical figure, Oberon or something." And Oberon, he or she or whatever, they were king or queen of the fair folk. And she's like, "The fair folk? Oh, elves." And Goliath's like, "Yeah, they were called dark elves. They've been called fairies." She's like, wait a minute. Like, there's such a thing as elves and fairies and stuff." They go, "Yeah, we're gargoyles, so there's other races out." Just like, "There's other races out there." They go, "Yes, Elisa, obviously." And she's like, "Whoa, that's cool." And I have no idea, but that's a powerful mirror. That's where Oberon or Oberon or whatever the hell, she used all her magic. And things came forth, and it was a device of communication, but also of great power. And so with Demona, having it, it probably spells a lot of bad things to come. And Elisa's like, "Don't worry, guys, we're going to get it back. Right, Goliath?" And she fucking reaches out and holds his hand, and she nuzzles him. And she laughs. And he goes, "Yeah." Yeah, we will. It's like, oh my God. Like, they made this for all the horny fanboys and fangirls of this show. They knew exactly what they were doing. Eventually, we cut back to Demona's place, and Puck, he's just flying around, and it's like, "Wow, you're a fucking angry bitch, aren't you?" And she goes, all right, shut up. Listen, I have you under my power, and because I have all those chains around you, I guess part of the incantation, the Celtic spell she did, and you have to do everything I say. And Puck's like, of course I will. Yeah, I'll obviously do. And she's like, "Listen, I want you to I want you to kill, just straight up kill all the humans." And he's like, "Jesus Christ, I can't, I have limitations, all right? I'm not a fucking genie. You never had a friend like me. I'm not like that, all right? I can't do something like that. That's beyond me." And he's like, "But I can look into your heart, Demona. I know what you desire and thirst for most." And he goes to the mirror and he touches it, and it's just Goliath going, "Sup?" And she goes, "Yes, I thirst for his strong, giant body." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, I can just make him fall in love with you. It'd be very easy." She goes, "No," because what she sees is, because Elisa Mazza, because it's showing Goliath as he is in the clock tower, and she sees Elisa Mazza come into view, and Elisa Mazza grabs Goliath's arm and nuzzles into it and laughs. And she's like, "That fucking bitch. I hate that bitch. I want you to get rid of her. I want you to get rid of her." And Puck's like, "Yeah, I can do that. I mean, sure, I'll get rid of her now. I'll make sure." She's like, "I want to make sure that human never comes to, I want to make sure that human doesn't exist." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you don't want the human Elisa Mazza? Got it, no problem." And he does, boom, he does his little incantation chat, and he's like, "Elisa Mazza shall be human no more." And then chat, we transition back to the clock tower, and she's like, "Well guys, I'm sure we can do this with the power of friendship. We'll be able to beat Demona." Oh God, I'm floating. And she just like starts floating him into air, and she has like this greenish light all around her body. And she's like, "Whoa." And the Gargoyle's like, "Whoa, Elisa, what's wrong?" She's like, "I don't know, I feel funny." And then boom, there's this burst of light, chat. The Gargoyles are like, "Ah." And they see, and they open their eyes, chat, and they're like, "Holy fucking shit." And Elisa Mazza, chat, she has been turned into a very curvy and very thick gargoyle girl. And she's like, whoo, that was crazy. And this is why this episode is, well, it's all monkey's paw, because this character of Puck, who is this mythical fairy folk individual, he gives you, he'll grant your wish, but it's very much a monkey paw situation. Yeah, I'll do it, but I'm going to change something around so I kind of fuck with you nonetheless. Unless you're being kind to him. If you're kind to him and respectful, then he'll give you exactly what you want. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. But if you imprison him and be a dick to him, he's like, I'm going to fuck with you. And so he just turned Elisa Maza into a curvy, well-endowed gargoyle woman. And Goliath's like, oh my God. When this happens. And Puck's like, hey, I fucking did it. Aren't you happy? She's like, I didn't want you to turn her into a gargoyle. He goes, I got rid of human Elisa Maza. She's like, oh, come here, you. We got a lot to do tonight. Come here. And she drags him, she takes him outside. They go through the mirror. And she grabs the mirror and grabs him, like, all right, let's get going. I have other plans for you. He's like, all right. But we cut back to the clock tower chat. And Elisa Maza, she's like, oh, she looks at Goliath. She goes, oh, Goliath, this is wonderful. You've turned into a gargoyle. And she goes up and hugs him. And he goes, like, wait, what are you talking about, Elisa? She goes, well, this is great. I mean, I'm a gargoyle. I've always been a gargoyle, as you know. And you're a gargoyle, too. He's like, Elisa, no, we've always been gargoyles. She's like, I think I would know if I was a human, Goliath. Come on. He's like, Elisa, like, she's like confused. Like, for whatever reason, even though she just turned into a gargoyle, Puck's magic fucked her it scrambled her brains. For whatever, she thinks that she's been a gargoyle this whole time, and Goliath and everyone else, they've been humans. It's like, wait a minute. So this is interesting. It's like, is this like a interdimensional Elisa Maza? It's like an Elisa Maza gargoyle from a different dimension. You just don't know, really. It's kind of interesting. It's like, like, what could this possibly be? And they go outside, and like Goliath's like, they're all kind of freaked out. Goliath's like, remember when we first met? She goes, of course. Remember when we first met? You glided down, you caught me when I was falling off of the castle in Xanatos' tower. He goes, yes, I glided after you. Now, how, could I have done that when I was a human? And wouldn't you be able to glide since you're a gargoyle? And she goes, I'm confused. He goes, yes, I see you're confused. How about we go flying? How about we glide? She goes, oh, I don't know. I'm really scared. She goes, hey, he's like, don't worry. We'll glide together. And the gargoyles are like, Goliath, don't fuck her right now. She's confused. She's like, shut up. And he grabs her. He's like, we'll be right back. And they start flying. They start gliding. And she's like, wow, this is amazing, Goliath, to do this with you. Oh, it's beautiful. And he's like, Elisa, seeing you this way, I realize just how beautiful you are. She goes, oh, you thought I was ugly when I was a human? He goes, updraft, hold on. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, oh, this is why this episode's beloved, chat, because everyone gets what they want. There is a ton of fan fiction of Gargoyle Elisa Maza, chat, and the two of them constantly going at it. That's what all of this is. It's what all of this is. And they're flying, they're bonding, they're both happy. I mean, they really are happy, because that's the tragedy of the relationship, is there are two different worlds, they're two different species. It's like, how the fuck do you make that work? Now, we know at the end of season 2, they fuck and they have a romance. I know that happens. I know that for a fact. They do in the comics too. They have like, but it's funny because Elisa Maza wants children in the comics, and Goliath's like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. I guess I could put an egg in you. I don't know. We'll find out. But it's like, it's nebulous what the relationship becomes later on. It's like, okay, this is going to be odd. It's going to take some work, chat. It's going to take some work. But for right now, they're enjoying the moment, just gliding over the city. But then, chat, we transition to the Twin Towers, because the World Trade Center was still standing in the 90s, of course. And Demona has flown the Mirror and Puck over to here. And she's like, all right, I want you to get rid of all the fucking disgusting humans on this island. And he's like, okay, all right, I'll get rid of all the humans. Sure, I'll do exactly as you say. And he does his spell shit and goes, ba-boom, and all the humans are gone. But while this is all happening, because they see like this magic spell going off on top of the World Trade Center, and Goliath and Elisa, they see this and they're like, what the fuck? Let's go over there. And then the rest of the gargoyles go over to the Twin Towers too, and they land there. and they see what's going on, and they see fucking Demona, and they see Puck, and they go, "Hey, what are you doing?" She's like, "Fuck you!" And her and Puck jump into the fucking mirror chair, and they transport themselves out of there. Meanwhile, like, what the hell is going on? And they look over the Twin Towers, and they look in the ground. And they go, "Wait a minute, what is that?" And we cut to Demona and Puck. They exit out of some little dimension, this little portal. And Demona, she's looking around. She's like, "What the fuck?" All the humans, Chad, have been turned into gargoyles. They're just walking around. You see gargoyles like with big fucking mustaches and briefcase just going, "Oh," just walking around and stuff. And she's like, "What the? I told you to get rid of all the humans." He's like, "I did get rid of all the humans, okay? I turned them into gargoyles." And she's like, "Come here, you little bitch. If you, I told you I would kill you if you don't do what I say." And he's like, "What do you want me to do now?" And he's like, "I want you to turn all the gargoyles back into humans." He's like, "I'm tired. I'm fucking tired, okay? I don't really want to do that right now. I'm a little exhausted." And she's like, "You're gonna fucking do this now more than ever." Eventually, the gargoyles, they all go down. Oh, yeah, they chase her through the subway. They find her, and they chase her through the subway, and that's when they escape. And Puck, he has masked himself in his own magic, so he appears invisible to all the other all the human gargoyles in the city of Manhattan. And she's like, "Listen, I want you to turn the gargoyles back to human. Do that right now, because you had your veil invisibility magic on, so I know you're not weak." He's like, "Okay, I'm just trying to catch my breath. Take it easy." He's like, "All right, I'll do as you ask, Demona. I'll transform the gargoyles into humans." But she didn't specifically say which gargoyles, chat. So by the way, Goliath and Elise and the rest of the gargoyles, they take the mirror, they capture it. They're holding it, and they're like, "This fucking mirror's crazy. I mean, we don't know what's gonna fucking come out of it." And they have the sheet over it, and they take the sheet off, and Puck does his little incantation. This fucking light shoots out, and it hits Goliath and the rest of the gargoyles. And then Lisa Mouse goes, "Oh wow!" All of the gargoyles, the gargoyles, the top billing gargoyles, chat. Goliath, Hudson, Lexington, Broadway, Brooklyn. They've all turned human, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is weird. I mean, we've turned into gargoyles. This is crazy." Like, "No, you're not gargoyles. No, you've always been human. What are you talking about?" He's like, "What? No. I mean, humans, as you all know, we're able to glide where we want." She's like, "No." Like, they're confused like her now. And Lexington's like, "Wait a minute. Like, we can't glide. We're humans. We don't have any wings." And they go, "Oh, yeah." And Hudson's like, "All right, this fucking mirror's fucking with my brain." He covers it with the sheet. "We're going to make sure nothing crazy happens there, right? I don't know what the hell's going on with that." I was like, "Listen, we got to find Demona and Puck. They keep fucking with us at this point, so we got to get going." And so they start walking like down the street, and they're all clothed in their like medieval garb. And Goliath is he's a delicious chocolate man, chat. And Elisa's like, "Oh my God, yes!" And like she's so happy about it. She's Goliath. I mean, he looks like it's like Keith David. Except if you just injected a shit ton of steroids into him and gave this beautiful mane of black hair, chat. It's like, holy shit. And she's like, nom, nom. She's thirsting. She's hungry for some of that, chat. But they go walking on the street and shit, and all the gargoyles are like, "Those are fucking disgusting humans. Oh no!" Like they're now the freaks now. They're the enemies, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta run away." And so they're running away from the gargoyles. And meanwhile, they Demona, she sees it. She's like, "The fuck did you do? I told you to turn the gargoyles back in human." "Oh, you meant the other gargoyles. I thought you meant the gargoyles, like the main character." She goes, "No, you idiot." And he goes, "Listen, now that Goliath and his kind are weak, his clan, you can kill them all. This is what you've always wanted, right?" She goes, "Well, I do really want to kill Goliath. I want to really kill Goliath. Yeah, I guess I could do it." He goes, "Yeah, I know you do, honey. All right, let's go set up a trap." And so, they get the gargoyles' attention. They put the mirror right there. They manage to get the mirror. And they're like, "Hey, let's fucking go." Demona, she flies down. She starts blasting at all the human gargoyles. And she's like, "Goliath, you're not strong enough to beat me." And he's like, "Demona, my strength my strength didn't come from my, what's the line? You're no longer strong enough to beat me." He's like, "That's not what true strength is, Demona. True strength," as you will see right now. And then fucking Elisa Mazza comes, get your hands off my man! And she goes riding on top of Demona, and we get a cat fight, just the gargoyle lady battle, chat. It's hot. He's like, my strength came through friendship. The power of friendship, chat. And the Demona and Elisa, they just go at it, and they're both thirsty, Chad. They're both thirsting after the same hot chocolate man / hot purple man that Goliath is. And they go at it. Eventually, Demona's like, all right, fuck this. I'm out. Also, Puck, he's fuck with the human gargoyles. He's like transformed. He creates a giant hentai plant monster, wraps him up. Like one of the gargoyles has like an axe, and he turns it into like this spinning blade of death that's chasing them. They're like, whoa, shit. But Demona eventually, it's like, it's just not working out. It's like, I gotta get out of here. But they capture her because Elisa Mazzi, she uses her thick thigh shat and her absolute dump truck of a gargoyle ass to just sit on Demona. She's like, you ain't going anywhere, honey. Not with this thing. She goes, curse your thickness. Curse it. And the fanboys are like, no, don't curse it. I love it. Goddamn right. And eventually they Goliath's like, Puck, listen, we'll free you if you fix everything. He's like, for real? Yes, we'll free you. But you got to make things normal again. He's like, I like you, Goliath. You're honest with me, and I respect that. All right, let's go back up to the Twin Tower. So they take Demona, they take the mirror. Puck says, all right, fucking boom. Transforms all the humans back, or all the gargoyles back into humans. He then uses his magic on Elisa Mazza, transforms her from a very thick gargoyle to a very thick human. She's like, woo! And she's like, oh, come here, Goliath. And they're like holding each other. She's like, oh, Goliath. Whoa, your muscles are so big. Yo, you're great. But then Pucky's like, honey, sorry. Got to make the romance complicated for season 2. Boom! Hits them with the magic jet. They turn back into gargoyles. But the thing is, Demona's like, all right, fuck this. Get off of me. Get off of me. And she flies away. She freaks out. And I'm like, let her go. Let her go. Puck, you're free to go. He's like, hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. See you next time. I'll be sure to put a good word in with my man, my boss. And like, who is that? Haha, can't reveal that till like near the end of season 2. See you later. And that's it. And it's like, oh, that's stupid. Now it's like, all right, what's that mission going to be, chat? Oh, you'll find out. We then cut back to Demona's domicile, chat. She flies in. She's very upset. She's agitated, of course. Not only was she sat on by, Elisa Mazza, but she didn't get all of her wishes that she got from Puck. There was a monkey's paw situation. She didn't kill Goliath, didn't fuck and or kill Goliath. She's upset. But Puck shows up. He goes, hey, how you doing? She's like, leave me alone. You're free anyway. I know you're here to glow. He's like, listen. I know you have one desire in particular. You want to be able to always feel the sun on your face. Isn't that right? And she goes, yes, it's one of my greatest dreams. He's like, I can do that for you. And she goes, no, I don't want that. Get out of here. And he goes, I'm going to give it to you anyway, okay? Because I'm going to teach you a fucking valuable lesson. And he goes, boom, you shall feel the sunlight on your flesh, Demona. No longer shall you turn to stone the daylight. You shall feel as a human feels. And she's like, huh? And then we cut back to the clock tower chat where, the gargoyles are like, well, I never thought, it was cool kind of to be human for a bit, to be wearing different shoes and stuff, but I like being a gargoyle. Yeah, it's complicated, it's hard, but I just enjoy it. And Hudson's like, aye, lads, I enjoy it too. They also in the precipices. They're all ready to transform. But Goliath wants to talk to Elisa, and he goes, Elisa, listen, the things I said before, I just wanted to talk to you and let you know. And she's like, I know. You were confused at the time because of the magic. It was complicated. And he's like, no, that wasn't it. No, I wanted to tell you that it's. And she like presses her hand against his mouth and goes, and he turns to stone, and she goes, I know, but that's just the way it has to be. That's the way it has to be. And she walks away, chat. So it's just too complicated right now. Don't worry, they fuck at the end of the season. But he was about to say, I really do have feelings for you, and I have them too, but it's weird right now, and how to work through it. Eventually, Chad, we cut back to Demona, and she's on her precipice, on her little deck, and she's like, oh, I never thought the sun would feel so warm. It's beautiful. Oh, this is fantastic. Puck really did come through. And she walks by. She walks by like a mirror she has. Because the other mirror, like, I should say, disappeared into like a vortex. Puck just took it. He's like, this is my shit. Thank you. Then she walks by a mirror, and Demona has turned human. The thing that she least wants, and she's like, no, no, no. And that, my friends, is Gargoyles episode 18, The Mirror. Or as I like to call it, the thirst, the fanboy, fangirl thirst, chat. There you go. That's why it's popular, chat, because of, people either wanting the Goliath, Lisa Ma's romance to happen either when they're both human or when they're both gargoyles, chat. That's what it's always been. And this was the first really heavy Lisa Ma's / Goliath shipping episode. So this is like, ha ha, fooled you, pretty much. Pretty much. Joking aside, it's a really solid episode. It furthers the characters. It does some really fun things with them. It's comedic. Adds to some really important plot. It sets a lot of stuff up, especially with Puck. He's a recurring character, chat. He's pretty fucking funny. He rhymes when he talks a lot of the time. He does his incantations. So it's pretty good. I'm trying to see if I can look up some of his rhyming. It's a goddamn good time. He's voiced by Brett Spiner, who does a fantastic job. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, here's some of those rhyming. So when he grants Puck spell to alter Demona's daytime stay, he goes, fearsome creature who would stay unchanged by the light of day. Remain you thus throughout the night. Be thou flesh by dawn's fair light. He's got some really good ones. What else we got here, Chad? Oh, this is one where he turns all the humans, all the gargoyles back to humans. First the humans, I'll attend. The city turns back to... Oh, no, that's not... No, first the humans, I'll attend. And the gargoyles I will mend. If his efforts you command, free Puck, let him homeward wend. Like, he has a lot of great lines. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's pretty much all the ones they offer me. But it's fun, shit. It's fun. Goddamn good time. Great episode, chat. I love me the Gargoyles. Be careful what you wish for. That was deep. It was. Exactly. It's complicated. It's fucking complicated, man. Indeed. But now, my friends, he's also a troll. He's also a little bit of a troll, no doubt about it. But now, guys, I'll be transitioning over to some of that Returnal.